At least 9 different northwest provincial roads are set to be maintained and re-gravelled with a total investment of more than 316 million rand. Projects in the Ngaka-Mulima district will cost at least 113 million rand from the total budget. The combined value for the 3 projects is more than 121 million rand. Communities say public transport has stopped using their roads, affecting those who rely on it for their daily travelling. Their cars are also having challenges entering their yards. Residents say they have had enough and are really frustrated and want roads to be fixed and potholes that should be done away with. Our reporter Refiloe Seboko joins us now. Refiloe, good afternoon. So outside of what we've just heard, and obviously the roads are disastrous from what we can hear, what are some of the other things that the President has had to hear from this community?
Good afternoon, Hugo, and good afternoon to the viewers as well. Well, we just completed the engagement with the President together with some NEC members, together with the provincial government, the PEC members in the Northwest Province, but it was an engagement from different stakeholders that involves the business community. When we had the Ditsobotla Business Forum making their presentation, one of the presentations that was made by the community was issues of service delivery in the province as a whole, in particular its issues of health. And they were also raising an issue about the Tusong Hospital, which we've seen on the news quite some time, the MEC of Health in the Northwest Province, indicating that because of the heat that is coming out of that hospital, they are forced to shut it down completely. But that was what was raised as well in that engagement and made to the attention of the President. In response, the President has said that he's not aware of Tusong Hospital, but that matter is that which needs to be taken upon with the provincial government together with the MEC of Health. But roads, like you said, Hugo, continues to be one of the concerns of the residents here, who are saying that the dire state of roads in Itsoseng, but also in Northwest Province as a whole, continues to be a challenge to them. And also when he was responding, Mr. President has indicated that Minister of Transport, together with MEC of Public Works in the Northwest Province, Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula, together with MEC of Public Works in the Northwest Province, MEC Khawachi Mulapisi, will be working together and making sure that roads are rehabilitated, not only in Itsoseng, not only in Ditsobotla, but in the Northwest Province as a whole. Allow me to welcome Mr. Mbalula. Thank you so much for your time, and apologies to break your lunch as you are busy enjoying your lunch. Let's talk about that which you heard a resident raising in terms of service delivery, not just in Itsoseng Township, but in Northwest as a whole, particularly issues of roads.
Let me tell you, thank you very much for having us and following our story of Letsema. The reason we're here is because the ANC government have intervened when the municipality, which we won, has been destabilized. Because we're interested in stability, we're interested in service delivery. The breakdown of service delivery here have led us to take a decision to bring this municipality under administration. And that is the most important decision, which as the governing party we show, because we need to win the confidence of our people. We can't go on in the municipality where there is instability and there is breakdown of service delivery. Roads, water and sanitation, you have such challenges here. And our intervention is aimed at bringing stability and ensuring that all of these challenges have been addressed by the ANC local government in Ditsobotla.
Without a minister looking into the provincial roads that we saw, that the Northwest government has indicated that there's money budgeted or set aside to focus on rehabilitation of provincial roads. But what about rural roads, and how is the Department of Transport together with the Department of Public Works, as the President has indicated that your office and together with the MEC's office needs to work together? What is the working together relationship, and when do you reach out to rural areas and their roads and the state that they are in?
The MEC here is focused, Saliva Mulapisi, and we have an excellent relationship. We have what we call PRMG, which is a grant that is allocated to fix the provincial roads and rural roads. And he's been doing a very excellent job to execute our program of Valazonke in terms of potholes. But you realize that some of the roads, they don't need to They don't just need closing of potholes. They need complete refurbishment. The lifespan of the road has actually reached its date, and we need to address that from the point of view of implementing PRMG. So we reprioritize. Instead of building new roads, let us fix those that their lifespan has actually expired. And that is what we are doing with Saliva. And then there are roads that have been allocated to SANRAL and have signed them off together with the Premier, because Premier needs the concurrence of the Minister of Transport. And then next week we'll be making that examination of those roads that the SANRAL have taken over in Northwest, so that we accelerate the delivery. But we sign memorandum of understanding with local municipalities. For instance, here in Newzroom, where the local municipality has collapsed, revenue base is zero. So we will collaborate with them to accelerate the program of delivery through MOUs that we have done with some of the municipalities in the country. And then we implement our programs of Valazonke, and then we activate SANRAL, which is not their mandate, through the MAUs also to actually intervene. So those are the building blocks. You will have seen what we are doing here in this province through our intervention. Volmaran start fixing the N12, and it's in a pristine state at the present moment. You will have seen some of the roads that have been built, but the state of the roads is zero, you know, and we are fixing that using our engineering skill through SANRAL to fix the roads, working with the municipalities in the province.
Give us a deadline, a due date or time frame in terms of where you say this operation or this Valazonke program would have reached its final stage. When exactly are you looking at those roads being completed?
I launched Valazonke. Valazonke has got 6 months nationally. We will evaluate. All provinces are implementing Valazonke. Within 6 months next year, around March, April, we'll evaluate the impact of Valazonke in the country. And then more resources have been allocated to help Northwest and KwaZulu-Natal with regard to the floods, the disaster that they encountered. So more money has been allocated, and then it will be injected into the system and implement, including fixing rural roads and all of that. So we do have some money to do the work that we're supposed to do, thanks to the Treasury. So me and the MEC, our task and responsibility is to oversee the implementation of that. Already as we speak, this program of Valazonke all over Northwest is being unleashed. And you might say where you live it has not arrived, but it is coming.
What's causing the delay, Minister? I think the Rustenburg project, there's the RTT project that has long been launched, but there seems to be a delay in terms of completing that. And also in your engagement to say, you know, the project starts, but they take longer. Even when you set yourself to say in 6 months or a year time, we would have completed that, but that seems not to be the case.
Well, since I've taken over all the projects we have declared, even under SANRAL, we have met our deadlines. You remember last week I was in Mpumalanga. The project that I started when I came in was completed, the interchange. So some of the delay in the project is community involvement, negotiations and all of that. But with regard to the project like fixing potholes and all of that, those are projects that are in the system. So there shouldn't be delays there. We just unleash based on whether or not we have resources. We have resources, and then we will implement the programs. Local municipalities, where there is a zero base in terms of zero income in terms of revenue, we've got to look at other means of how we can intervene and work with local municipalities. Like here in Newzroom, it's a complete disaster. That's why we arrive at a decision. We arrive at to fix this place. And to win the confidence of our people, we have to take steps, drastic steps, like even dissolving council, ensuring that there is election, like we're getting into an election here, elect a new council with good people, and then lead the path towards service delivery in this area. We work through many ways with municipalities, and we will be working with the province to ensure where we can, we work with them to fix the roads, But the MEC with the resources is got, the management is got. I can tell you, Northwest is one of our leading municipalities in terms of fixing the potholes and addressing aggressively the program of revitalization of our infrastructure that has collapsed.
Let's maybe wrap it by looking at the nomination list, the party list. You touched on it when you were responding to some of the questions that were raised by members of the stakeholders making their presentation. What's your take on the lodge of disputes against the party nominations? What do you make of that?
No, the disputes will be addressed. There is no crisis. We're moving ahead to a conference. The Electoral Commission is doing a fantastic job. People have raised their hand. They canvassed widely in the organization that they want to be nominated. Others are making it. Others are not making it. It's a democratic process. It's a democratic process. It's alive with possibilities from the president downwards. There is open contest, and it's quite exciting. We don't need to be negative against each other. We have to be decent and show the world and South Africa and Africa as a whole that we can coexist and become democratic in the ANC. Not this thing of going around wanting to climb at the expense of others and distorting credentials and all of that. Allow members to debate. And of course, in certain instances, there are issues of money, and all of that. Leadership, if it is bought, it is not based on history and all of that. There is a bigger challenge for the ANC because you will be given people that you'll be sitting with for the next 5 years and ask yourself questions, who's this one? Where do they come from? Allow the process to open up, and then Kgalema Motlanthe is leading that process and has allowed everybody to express themselves. And then branches are allowed to call on people. I've been called. I've been asked to stand. I've been nominated now. I'm ready to say I'm available because the branches have shown that they indeed are buying into the story of my availability. It's not like I say, yes, I'm available. It's fine, I can say that. But if they don't like it, they won't respond. I was also shocked by the overwhelming response to me standing for the position of Secretary General. People have said to me, why do you leave lucrative position of Minister of Transport? I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. Minister of Transport will come and go, but the ANC must survive. And I don't want my daughter and my children to ask me, when you were asked to stand up and save the movement, why did you run away? Will I say it's because of self-interest, lucrative position? That is why I allowed the movement to go to the doldrums.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Mbalula. I know that you are passionate about such issues, but unfortunately we need to wrap it. But thank you so much for your time. Hugo, Mr. Fikile Mbalula, Minister Fikile Mbalula of Transport, highlighting also issues of, as we are, the ANC will be going to the elective conference in December, and also those that are disputing or launching disputes against the nomination list. That forms part of the debate and the discussion now. Also, as the Bishop local municipality will be going for the by-elections on the 14th of December.